Hey, Internet Peter here. So I'm just heading to the grocery store to go do some shopping, get all my nutrition and foodstuffs for the week, and thinking about how I'm going to afford all of this kind of got me wondering. You ever wonder why junk food costs so much less than healthy food?
It's a fairly common complaint here in the US, and for a pretty good reason. As of September 2015, the USDA advises that a quote-unquote moderate monthly food allowance for a family of four hovers around $900 to $1,000. Considering that the median household income in the United States is roughly $50,000, that means that a normal family spending a modest amount will still put down about $11,000 a year on food, or over a fifth of their total income, which is, a lot. So people are kind of forced to make the choice between healthy and cheap on a daily basis, which is a pretty significant contributor to our world-leading childhood obesity rate. But it makes you wonder, it takes a lot fewer steps to make, say, an apple than it does to make and package most of our junk food. I mean, one literally just falls off the tree, while the other one has to get processed, mixed, extruded, baked, and packaged. So how is it that these two apples are somehow more expensive than this package of Oreos? The key thing that we have to realize is that the more we make of something, the lower the impact the process will have on the price. The price to make the first Oreo is definitely way higher than it is to pick an apple. You have to buy all the machinery, raw ingredients, packaging materials, and then you have to go out making the dang thing. The apple just falls off the tree. Easy. But the cost of the apple remains relatively fixed while the Oreo has loads of room to improve. The upfront costs are steep but can be spread out over all of the things produced. For instance, to make a peanut butter sandwich costs me like $5, because I have to go out and buy all the bread and peanut butter and whatnot. But to make 10 still costs me $5 since I've already gotten all the stuff that I need. Let's say after it was all said and done that it cost me 10 cents to make an Oreo, but $100,000 to get all that machinery and materials together. So it cost me, give or take $100,000 to make that first Oreo. This is a pretty big exaggeration since at this price point only the Donald and Scrooge McDuck will have the means to buy it. Anyways, the first one will cost you $100,000. Make two and you're at $50,000 a piece. 100 will bring it down to $1,000. Notice a pattern? Around here you might see a temporary uptick in costs if they have to buy more cookie making materials, but this is way less expensive than the initial machinery. By the time they get to 100,000 cookies, the price drops to $1 per cookie. If this still seems like a bit of a stretch, don't worry, the Oreo economy's got you covered considering that they produce well over 1 billion cookies per year. At that rate, they could sell a 12-pack of Oreos for $2 and still make a 66% profit. The apple, on the other hand, sure. We can make some improvements to the yield rates of our trees, but that investment is pretty risky and expensive, especially if they aren't as popular. And that's the big thing here, popularity. Yeah, that example is a bit oversimplified, but it shows just how important demand is in setting the price. There's a reason why it's on all those economics graphs. But there is some good news. As Americans have worked at becoming more health conscious over the last few years, healthier alternatives have been coming down in price such that they're starting to rival the less healthy stuff.
Although it should be noted that some scientists believe that we shouldn't be looking at it as a function of dollars per calorie or calories per dollar or anything like that, but as a matter of satiety, that is how full we get from eating these foods. And in fact, that if you look at it in that regards, some healthy foods are even cheaper than the unhealthy stuff because they make us feel fuller longer. So why is junk food cheaper than healthy food? Well, because of this popularity. Yes, we have those additional costs of production, but when you're producing thousands or millions or even billions of things, the cost gets spread out over each individual item, such that the extra cost per item goes down to just about nothing. Nil. None. The more we make, the more popular they are, the cheaper they get. But there is some good news to be had here. Studies are finding that Americans started to make healthier and healthier options over the last few years, as such that now we're seeing that these items are becoming cheaper and cheaper too. Even more inexpensive sometimes than the less healthy stuff. So there's hope to be had that as we continue to be more healthful and more conscious in our decision making in the grocery store, that these prices will go down and we'll be able to afford to eat better and become healthier. Well, here's to hoping, right? And as always, thanks for watching.